Listen, I was thinking today, actually not just today. I think about this book more than I probably should actually.
Okay, this is reading between the lines. We're both emotionally unstable, but that's okay because we're doing it together. So go team.
Welcome to Reading Between the Lines. Today we're gonna be talking about The Wolf King by I'm gonna so butcher her name, Lauren Palphreyman, I think is how you say it. She can come on the podcast and tell me I'm wrong and correct us actually. Because what's gonna happen? She can come on and correct me. But The Wolf King and then The Night Prince is the second book. We're waiting on the third book, which is the final book of the trilogy. But that's what we're going to be talking about today. If you have not read this book, you don't want to listen to this because we're spoiling. So what you should do is read it and then come back. It's free on Kindle Unlimited if you have Kindle Unlimited. So that's how I read it.
Yes.
Anyways, little plug there. That's what we're going to be, even though Kindle Unlimited does not pay me for saying that. But
Yeah.
they should, but whatever. Anyways, that was really long-winded. That's what we're gonna be talking about today.
Say some book news.
Okay.
We posted about it today, but I wanted to talk about it a little bit more.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm scared.
So I started and finished Sandicon, which is a Netflix series.
I don't even know what it's about.
It's it's like Pirates of the Caribbean mixed with Tarzan mixed with a little Aladdin.
Okay. Sounds like something I'd like.
Yes. Plus there's other stuff in there too, but that's kind of the gist of it. The first two episodes I kind of put on as background music. Not background noise, right? I'm just whatever, doing whatever. The third episode I started paying attention a little bit more. It started getting a little interesting. Fourth episode, locked in. Locked in. I was like, I gotta close my computer. I can do Pinterest later. I need to focus on this show.
Pinterest can wait.
Yeah, and it's low-key kind of cheesy, but then it gets really serious, and there's enemies to lovers.
Okay.
Okay, in Pirates of the Caribbean, it's Will's not in the equation. It's either Norrington or Jack Sparrow are the two lovers kind of thing.
Okay.
So, and the MMC, the pirate, is played by a guy named Can Yaman, I think is how you say his name.
I think that's how you say it, yeah.
And people are fan casting him as Cassian, and that is why I started watching it. But then I got really invested in it. So.
I feel like I need to. But we can't add another Netflix show, Emma.
No. I wouldn't watch. I'd watch Queen Charlotte and Bridgerton. Top, that's your top priority, right? This is just something if you need something to watch. It's not you have to watch it. It's interesting. I'd watch it if you just need something to watch and to see if you think that guy can be casting, which I think it's possible if he got into the mindset of Cassian and he got the script of it. I think it's possible.
He's got the vibe and the looks, I think, for sure. I think that I don't know anything more about him. I just looked up a picture.
Yeah. And
I think that he could.
There was one scene where the FMC yelled the MMC's name, and I was thinking of it as if I was watching Avatar, Nesta yelling Cassian's name. I'm okay, so I'm getting the vibe.
So basically, this guy is a nobody, and he started doing this show, and now all of a sudden he's got all the book girlies after him, and he's what's going on?
Basically,
it's that one guy that everybody said they wanted to play Xaden, and everybody was like, wait, what?
Yeah.
And then he was okay, now I'm gonna start making Instagram reels to be like Xaden, and I was like, please stop.
Yeah, but maybe he is Xaden.
We don't know.
And
they're being really quiet about all that.
Yeah, we've said this in other episodes, but we can't really judge a casting until we see them in the role.
Right.
Saying the lines, dressing the character, acting like the character. We got to see it first.
I feel like also there's so much that they would need to like do, like any actor, even if they looked perfect for the part, there's so much that they need to do to prep for a role like that because it's so popular. You know what I mean? Like lots of people would know if you did it wrong. So
Yeah.
there's no pressure, but like
Yeah, I also saw a post, and I've seen this before, but it's like, people like ACOTAR fans really want an animated series of the book, and I'm like, absolutely fucking not.
you people
Nothing,
are crazy who think that. No.
nothing about animated movies is bad, right? I love watching an animated movie. I don't want ACOTAR to be animated.
Listen, our books are on like Game of Thrones level. Okay. Could you imagine Game of Thrones being animated? No. You can't.
Honestly, I watched half an episode of Game of Thrones, right? But I've heard a lot about it. How is that show? Like, how did that show get so much attention? And like other really good shows are being canceled and our books aren't even like becoming the shows and stuff. When Game of Thrones is literally like incest 24/7.
I don't know, dude. I only watched one episode, and it was the literally last episode. I watched the last episode, and that got me hooked. And then I was like, I'm gonna start watching it. And then everybody told me no.
Yeah.
So
Well,
because of that reason.
yeah, I started watching when I was like a little bit younger and there was like a lot of nudity and I was like,
Right.
we're like 30 seconds in.
I don't know why it's so popular, but it is.
Yeah, like the
What I'm
dragons I
saying.
get, and I see things about like very powerful women in that show, and I'm like, I understand that, right? I love that, but the incest would really throw me off. I'm like, I can't do that.
Yeah, no. But also, like, then there's all the like, there's the what is it, House of the Dragon, and now like they're coming out with like a third show that's like related to it. It's like, what? I don't understand how it's so popular now, like still to this day.
Yeah, I don't know.
But listen, whoever did Game of Thrones needs to do all of our books, but that's not happening. So
And the last piece of book news that I have, it's not really book news, but I want to talk about it. I saw an article about a couple getting engaged in a bookstore, and that's my dream.
I know, I wish I could redo my engagement. Let's go back. Let's try again. I mean, mine was on a mountain, so I really can't complain. But like,
Yeah,
like let's try again.
yeah.
No,
We do.
Was this one you sent me?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was so cute because he asked them to shut down the whole bookstore and like whatever. And now they're going viral
Yeah.
because of it, which I think is adorable. So point is that's what you need to do, and then you'll go viral.
Yeah, exactly. But speaking of like weddings and like book stuff, I literally am so far away from getting engaged. Like I don't even have any suitors or anything, which I've been thinking in Bridgerton terms since I just finished the part 1 and I need you to finish it. But anyways,
I'll get to it.
okay. But I have like a Pinterest board saved with like just a few pictures of rings that give like fantasy vibes. I'm like, I want that. Like I just want to get engaged just so I can have this ring because it's like genuinely fantasy vibes and I want it.
Girl doesn't even have any prospects.
No.
She's like, this is the one.
That's the one.
I mean, fair enough. Anything else we need to talk about before we get into the Wolf King?
I wanted to mention
Oh, good Lord, here we go.
how much we are in sync when we think about things like book. So
Okay.
we don't like tell each other our ideas for social media. We just like make them and send them to each other, right? So I made one like a couple weeks ago. I haven't posted it yet. And then Alexis sends me. And actually, I just want to say what it was, okay? It was like the song that's like, that's the way I like it, right? And the one I made was like, they tried to kill each other, like someone saying that. And it's like, that's the way they like it, right? Last night, Alexis sent me a video with that exact audio and very similar wording. It's like
yes, it was.
Other.
It was like when they both want to kill each other or something.
I burst out laughing when
Also, can we just also take a moment and recognize the fact that I also made an Instagram reel with the Taylor Swift song? That's
I
gross.
was going to comment on that, but I was laughing too hard about the other thing.
Because it was the same. We are literally like one mind. I don't know how, but we are.
That was crazy. Like similar wording too, and not just similar songs. I'm just like, wow. And we're not even on the same platform. So the fact that you
No.
found that song on Instagram.
No, exactly. And the fact that we literally used the same verbiage, that's hilarious. Honestly, it's because in Friends when Chandler's like, you and I have always been like this. That's you and me.
No, literally.
So, but nobody should be surprised because we talk every day. So like,
yeah.
No wonder we're literally the same person.
I feel like we've kind of been like not talking as much, and it's kind of like concerning me. Like I don't know. I just feel
like text every day.
I know, but the messages are like minimal. Like it's not like 100 texts a day. It's like 20. I'm like, are we okay?
Listen, there's not a lot to talk about. I don't leave the house. In case anybody wanted to know, I don't leave the house. I work from home.
Yeah.
9 times out of 10. So nothing's going on over here except for when I like yesterday texted you because I spilled my freaking lettuce all over the floor.
Yeah.
And I was distraught.
And when I was crashing out the past 2 days.
Yes. See, this is the thing. When we both get stressed, that's when we stop texting.
Yeah. Except when I send you voice messages of me crashing out and then you reply LOL and I'm like, great.
Sometimes I listen to your voice messages and I'm like, how does one respond? And I'm like, I'm not going to respond with that. Like, I'm not going to say, like, how does one respond? But that's what's going on in my brain. And I'm just like, well, I laughed. So that's funny. LOL.
But after like the 10th voice message, you're like, okay, I'm done. Like, let's just get this over with.
Because here's the thing.
Update, shit has hit the fan once again.
Here's what you'll do. You'll send out like a 3-minute voice message explaining the entire thing, right? And I'm listening to that and I'm laughing because it's funny, right? But I'm also like thinking, how am I gonna respond to this? And then the second one's you like just crashing out. It's mostly just laughing. And then the third one is like 15 minutes later after you've either solved the problem or there's been developments. So there's an extra minute. And then there's like 2 of those. And then the last one is like an hour later and you're like, I'm fine. I'm like, the story's over, and if I haven't responded to any other, like if I'm listing the full story, it's like, how do I help her respond here? I just say, oh well.
You know what's funny is after the situation has resolved itself, right? If you haven't responded within like 20 minutes, I'm already over the situation by then. Like, I'm like, why is she responding? And then I just move on to the next thing. I'm like, okay, whatever. And then you respond. And I'm like, oh, I forgot I sent you like 10 voice messages.
Yeah. See, that's the thing is when you always send it, like most of the time you send that many when I'm busy and I can't respond. And so I just get like my notifications and I'm like, oh boy, what is happening in Emma's world right now? And then there's me. I just send like one voice message like once a week and I'm just like, this happened. Life sucks. Anyways, move on. My voice messages are the same like every week. So
yeah, usually it's like you spilling something or you not eating your coffee or something like that.
Or me like just hating my job, actually.
Yeah.
More accurately. I have noticed that we've been texting less because there was like one day where we didn't text at all. And I remember being like, is Emma dead? Like, is she alive? And then like later that night you sent me a voice message and I'm like, okay, she's alive. Like it's fine.
You're worried about that if I'm alive. I'm worried about if you're mad at me. I'm like, hey, what did I do? Did I crash out one too many times? I don't know.
I've never been mad at you. I've just been getting so bad at responding to things. Like it's actually insane.
Oh
like,
no, me too.
I will open it and then I will never respond. Why? I don't know. Or I'll just like leave my phone on another level of my house and then I'm on like the other level and I'm like, I don't want to go get it. I'm too lazy.
Yeah, I have to like leave myself reminders to respond to people.
Yeah, I should probably
It's
start doing that. It's a little embarrassing. And like this is what gets me through my week is knowing that I get to do this. This is therapy. Anyways, we'll actually talk about the books now, guys. We are gonna be talking about The Wolf King by Lauren Palphreyman. I said it differently the first time. Lauren, just come on the podcast and tell us how to say it. That's what I think should happen. Once the third book comes out, you can come on here and just go, this is how you say my name, say it right. And then you can talk to us about the third book. So we're going to talk about The Wolf King. If you haven't read it, like I said earlier, please go read it and then come back because we will be spoiling the books. But for those of you who haven't read it in a while, like Emma and I mean, I read it like a month ago.
Yeah.
Emma read it like a couple months ago.
Yeah.
Basically, it's about this girl named Aurora, and she is in an arranged marriage. And I can't remember, is she like she's not like the princess, is she?
Think
She is.
Yeah.
She is. So she's a princess, she's in an arranged marriage, and in this world, they do things with wolf fights and whatever, okay? There's wolves, people who are werewolves, whatever. I don't know how to really explain it. It was like werewolves to me. In the beginning of the book, this is not a spoil. She gets kidnapped or she wants to leave with this one wolf. She does. And then the story progresses from there. That one wolf is named Callum, and he is not dark and whatever, but fine.
Yeah. And when they mentioned he wears a kilt,
That was such an ick.
it kind of threw me. And I know that's like a cultural thing, right? Like, I don't want to diss on that. But for me, for my books, I need all black. If the kilt was just black, I think I can maybe get behind it.
No, I can't. Anyways,
I was really trying to like Column. I was like, okay, he's like the Wolf King, like there's something going on, and like they'd always like I was like, okay, so he's the MMC. I have to like him. But I'm pretty sure when I was reading this, I texted you and I was like, I think I'm losing my mind and I didn't tell you why because I didn't want to spoil it. But I'm like, this doesn't seem like the MMC, but all signs point to him being the MMC. And I was like, what is happening? Like, what is going on?
Yeah, so listen, I'm just going to kind of give some like background real quick so that we can then talk about all these little things because I don't remember all the things. There are some things that I want to talk about, but I don't remember like every single detail. I know you do. Okay. I know you do. I assume so. But so she leaves with Callum, and what I was confused about, like, so let's just be honest. I was reading the first half of the Wolf King, and I was like, what is going on? There's humans and then there's wolves, but some of the humans can turn into wolves. So that's freaking confusing. And then on top of all of that, I was like, why are we having such like beef between the humans and the wolves and like all this stuff? Because they were trying to explain all the like history and the past stuff, but like it was so confusing. I'm pretty sure I texted you like the whole first half of the first book, and I was like, I have no idea what's going on. Like, yeah. I have no idea what's going on right now. And also, I did not like Callum from day one. From day one. I was like, no, this gives Tamlin vibes. I'm getting the ick. I do not appreciate it. I do not like it. So then when later in the Night Prince, I think it was the Night Prince. No, they did it in the Wolf King. When they kind of like fell in love or whatever, I was like, ew.
Like I just said, I was trying so hard to convince myself that I liked Column. I was like trying to find little details, little scenes, like, oh, he helped her take a bath. That's cute. I'm like, but I was mentally kind of going insane because I'm like, something's not right here.
No, it just, something was off the whole time. And also, I don't know about you, but I really was so confused right at the beginning because I feel like I got no information about Aurora. Like, I didn't know what she looked like until halfway through the book. I didn't know what her name was until like halfway through the book because maybe I skipped over it. I don't know. But I just was like, who is the FMC? Who is she? What is she? Like, what? Like, I was so lost.
Yeah.
And it could be, which it probably is, I read really fast. And most of the time I comprehend it all, but like I think I read too fast for this book. That makes sense?
Yeah.
But when then they got back to their whatever the house was, he was like, nobody's gonna hurt you. They'll be fine. Like they're all wolves here. Like you're fine. I was like, she's gonna die. And also, she just felt like such an idiot. She was
Yeah.
so naive.
Yeah. There was a lot of questionable things happening in that book. And yeah, I definitely had to. I'm a slower reader than you. I had to, not only was I trying to figure out the plot, I was trying to figure out who the MMC was. Like that was really my main priority, especially
Right.
when like Blake kept showing up, and when like Colum was giving her a bath and then Blake showed up, and I'm like, ah, I don't know what's,
I texted you the moment we met him, and I was like, he's the MMC.
They're maids, aren't they?
Yeah, but she's really making it seem like she's gonna. There's one book left. She's been with the same person for the first two books. A lot of turnarounds going to happen in the third book. And what also makes me mad is that I know that we're only getting a one book with her and Blake.
Yes, but also in the second book, there was more scenes with her and Blake, even if it wasn't like them fully together. Like that was like the lead up. So let's just get into like some specific scenes.
There's one scene that I want to talk about from the Night Prince of the two of them. But let's go in order maybe. Let's talk about plot and order or not.
I don't know when these scenes happen. I just know they happen.
Okay.
Okay. So I think this one scene happened in The Wolf King, the first one. But when they all turn, right, and Colum tells Aurora to stay inside or stay in the room.
Giving Tamlin vibes.
Yep. And she goes and I think she hears like Blake screaming or something. So she goes, or she hears someone screaming. And so she goes and finds Blake, and Blake was like trying to not turn into the wolf. But then he basically was like, fuck it, right? And turned into the wolf, chased her. Like she thinks she's gonna die. I'm like, oh my god, I'm living for this.
Yes, chase her.
Yeah, I was just about to say that. Chase her into the woods. Him and Colum got into a little fight, and Blake laid on Aurora and wouldn't let her move, but wouldn't hurt her. And then you find out it's like he was protecting her and he wanted his scent on her. And mind you, he's like the enemy at this point. Like they don't like Blake, right? Which makes it so much better.
Can we also talk about the fact that when Callum was like, I'm leaving for a couple of days to go, because he's like a guard or something for the supposed Wolf King.
Yeah.
Okay. And so he's like, I'm going to go, which we'll get into that later too. And which, by the way, I called it. I knew from the first page, first thing I've ever called in my life, by the way. Whatever. Anyways, what I was going to say was when he was like, I have to go do this thing for the Wolf King, so I'm going to leave for a little bit. Right. And she was like, it's part of the culture, whatever. Like, it's part of the thing here. Like, you have to wear my collar. I was like, oh, no.
And that's when I was fully like, no, Colum's not it.
But here's the thing, though. When she was like, fine, I'll wear it. And then she does. But then when Blake was like, no, you're wearing mine. I was like, oh, okay, we're fine with this.
No, literally. But okay, Colum like really wanted her to wear it. So it's like, oh, to protect her. That's kind of what it was. And like, so people know she's his, right? And I'm like, ew, like she's her own person. Like she doesn't belong to anyone. And then Colum's collar gets stolen from her. And Blake puts his collar on her, like without her knowing. Like he just does it. And I'm like, so you're his. So it's
and
like,
we're okay with that. Listen, it just depends on the kind of vibe. Like, we're fine with it if it's Blake.
No, literally, yeah.
I just was like, it was really weird because Aurora's trying to figure out everything, like the history of everything, like why there's like the war between the Wolf King and I think it was her dad, right?
And whoever she was gonna marry.
Right. Ooh, gross.
Yeah.
Anyways, But it was like she was trying to figure that all out, getting the history of everything and all that. I said this before, but like it feels like this book was a mix of a lot of books that we read because it had a lot of similar things, which I feel like we could say for most books, but at the same time, like they all have their own little spin. But it was very much giving like she was taken away from her home, like Farah. She was taken away from her home. Then she was taught about all this stuff by Callum Tamlin, and he was like, "You can't do this, you can't do that, don't leave. Like I'm controlling you, I'm protecting you." And because she only wanted love because she was gonna get sold off to this other guy, she was like, "Okay," and she was believing all of his stuff. And I was like, "This is a little sus." Like I feel like there's a lot missing, which is why I came up with a theory that he was the Wolf King because I'm like, bro is lying right now. Full blown lying.
Right when she saw him in the fighting pits before we even knew his name, I was like, oh, so he locked eyes with her. That's the Wolf King.
Right. Exactly.
But then I was so confused because they were like, oh, this other guy's the Wolf King. I'm like, what? Like, I was so confused during that point.
Well, I know because it was like it was confusing, and also because I was like maybe Blake was the Wolf King. Like that's what I thought at first, but then I got more information. But like I thought that, or I'm like, what if they're brothers, as in Blake and Callum? That was incorrect. But it was just so weird, like him being so protective of her, and he's like, "You're part of my clan now." It's like she's actually not a wolf, so she can be part of whoever the heck she wants to be.
Yeah.
Like it's weird. Yeah. And so then they fall in love. All the while, you're trying to figure out her past about her mom. And it seems like Blake has the information, but is not willing to share, which made him a little sus.
I also wanted to mention how Blake is the healer there. And there was one, I can't remember how Colum got injured, but he got injured really badly. And Blake was healing him. And in order for him to like convince Colum to like fight like whatever was wrong with him, right? He flirted with Aurora and said like all the things he was gonna do to her. And I'm like, okay, great, now do them. Like, don't be all talk.
Okay, okay.
Am I wrong? I know you had that same thought.
No, I definitely did. Yeah, why did he get injured? Because it was all that same like scene where he went off and was like, "You have to wear this," and then he came back and was injured, right? It was all within that same scene.
There was a lot of stuff happening. And my main concern was, whose color is she wearing? I'm like, is it Blake or Colum? I don't know.
So the point is, we're not going to actually talk about the book at all. We're just going to talk about Blake.
No, we can talk about the book. We can talk about the book. But a lot of my scenes have to do with Blake. So,
I mean, fair enough. But like, it was so weird to me. The whole situation was just weird to me because I'm like, why was it such a big deal that they were turning? But then you find out it's because they kind of like lose control and emotion, or not emotion, but like they have heightened emotion.
yeah, but also I am pretty sure they can only turn when when there's a full moon, right? And that took away their freedom of turning whenever they wanted. And I think that was what the problem was.
Well, and also because then when you find out in the Night Prince, which I also knew that Blake was the Night Prince right away.
Oh yeah, me too.
We just knew that. You find out too, like, because was it her brother who went off and to talk to this like one god or queen or something, and you find out like she's got a whole like side of this and is a big part of this as well, and she like is wanting to side with, it was her brother, was it not?
I forgot she had a brother, so I honestly don't know.
It was, because I swear, because she was like, yes, it was, because she was kept talking about how he was so terrible to her and how she hated him and all this stuff. And then when he came and found her or whatever with the wolves, he was like, what the heck? All this stuff. And she wanted to kill him. And they were like, you can't.
Yeah.
He's with us. Like, calm down. At the end of the Night Prince is when, isn't it her brother, Blake? No, her brother and her go to, what's the place called? Help me.
Oh, I'm vaguely remembering this.
Dude,
I
we're not gonna talk about the end of the Night Prince. Like that's what's ingrained in my brain
no,
right
I
now.
remember the end of the Night Prince, but the with Blake, that scene with Blake and like the revelation and stuff. I remember that, but I don't remember much about her brother because I kind of just forgot she had one. It's been a
Yeah,
while since I read them, okay?
he was kind of a douchebag, is what I remember.
Anyways, back to Blake.
Boy.
Okay. Honestly, I have like one more like Blake centered scene and then we can talk about the rest. I forgot about this until you reminded me when you read the book. But when they're having like that fire, right? That like bonfire or whatever, I don't remember what it's called. And they had to hike up like a really tall mountain.
Oh yeah.
And that one of the wolves, one of the guys, I don't know. I can't remember anyone's name. But he tried to, or he bit Aurora so that Aurora would belong to him, right? And Colin just standing there, like, oh my god, what do I do? Like, this is crazy. And Blake's like, taking initiative, and he's like, I'm actually gonna bite Aurora too, so that she belongs to me. I'm like, yes, you are. Yes, you are.
And that was a big deal because then Callum was like, no, we're gonna try to find a way to reverse this. Like you're not his and all that stuff. But that's how it works in there, whatever. That was when yes, it was their bonfire thing, but wasn't it also a ball or something? Like because all the Wolf King was there. Wasn't that all that scene? The Wolf King called on them and was like, you need to come to this thing. And the Wolf King, we find out, is Callum's brother, but at the same time, like Callum was supposed to have that role, but he chose not to. And so now it's a whole thing between him and his brother's name is James.
That sounds right.
I was gonna say Jericho. That was another guy.
Yeah, that was a different guy. I think
That was
that one's a bad guy too, right?
yes. Okay. Because sorry. Tell me if I'm wrong or right. But if you don't remember, you don't remember. But so all this stuff happens. You're what you were just saying. So they're meeting with the Wolf King, whatever, and they all are like looking at Aurora, like what the frick, who is she, whatever. Then somebody bites her, but then Blake's like, nah, not happening. Corners her, bites her, and then everybody's freaking out, right? And then they go back, and on their way back, right, is when they get stopped or ambushed by her dad and the person she was supposed to marry. Was it when she got bit or she almost died, or were they in the same? Because she killed the guy she was supposed to marry in the carriage thing.
Yeah.
And she was hurt really bad. But was that the guy who bit her? No.
That was in the Wolf King when she went into
Yes.
the carriage and she. Okay, I remember that, but I thought it was from Blood and Ash for some reason. But no,
A very similar scene happened in From Blood and Ash.
I think you're right because then was it Colum was waiting for her outside of this carriage?
Yes.
I'm pretty sure, and he was fighting with James in their wolf forms. And I remember being upset because Colum was there and Blake wasn't, but Blake comes and fights, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. It's when she was dying, right? And Blake was trying to heal her and he was like saying all the same things, like you need to like fight with me right now, like you need to tell me how much you hate me, and he was like saying all the things just so that she would stay alive. It was all within that scene, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was wild.
And did he did like some crazy thing, right?
That's when he tied their lives together or something. But in reality, they're actually already mates. But you don't know that then. But that's when he ties their life together. And that's when Callum is like, we're going to try to figure out a way to change this. And Aurora's like, I don't want to be connected to you. We're going to try to figure out a way to change this. And then you get to the Night Prince.
Yes.
I feel like we're missing a major plot point.
See, I remembered all of that, but I couldn't remember which book it happened in, like which series. So I was like,
I'm pretty sure that was the Wolf King because then in the Night Prince, it's her kind of like fighting in between, like, okay, Callum's doing this weird thing, like whatever, but I'm attached to Blake, but I don't want to be. But like, how do I? But also, she's figuring out all this history and stuff, and she's trying to figure out herself. And she knows that Blake knows about her mom because goes searching when she went searching in his room and
I
she got caught. Do you remember this?
I think yep.
This was the scene. She's searching around his room for information about her mom because she knows that he has it and information about her and her bloodline and stuff. And she's searching, and Blake comes up and is like, "What? Why are you here?" And she got caught and she was trying to hide, but he found her. And we know what happens after that. Anyways, not
Wait,
as anything
what happened
as
to his eye?
no, because wasn't it then pause? Because also because they were
I was like, keep going. Keep going. I caught. I remember her being in his room, and I remember her getting caught, and I remember being very ecstatic about it because I'm like, usually we don't want the FMC to get caught whenever they're doing something they shouldn't, right? But when
no,
it's
but we do.
But we do when it's Blake and it's like the enemy, right? Who she's tethered to. It's like, yeah, we want her to get caught. She does that a couple of times. She barges into his room and she's like the only one who's ever done that.
It was either when she got caught or when she barged into his room because she was so mad. But they got so angry at each other that they were like rolling on the floor, throwing punches at each other. I remember this. I remember her trying to punch her and hit him and all this stuff, and he like pinned her down on the bed. And I was like, and then nothing happened. It was like, but then I think later the scene was it was a dream about that same situation, but instead of them being angry at each other.
Oh yeah, I do remember that. Yeah.
Emma.
Dude,
That was like my favorite scene, bro.
I've read so many books.
That's not an excuse. I remember everything from every book that I've ever read. Not
No,
everything, but like
not.
everything. But like I remember a lot.
I have a terrible memory, so.
So do I. But I don't know how you can remember that.
Well, because I read a lot of, okay, in all honesty, the past like 5 books I've read have been very smutty. So my thoughts have been, the smut in my head has been about that.
First step is admitting it, okay?
Well, it was a lot of sports romances, okay?
Anyways, don't know how you didn't remember that because that was literally like one of the best scenes because I was like, oh, you're so close. But it was because they were so angry at each other because she was angry at Blake because she knew that Blake was hiding something.
Yeah.
And Blake was like, I can't tell you because what you figure out through the Night Prince is that he was such a broken human being, which we love. We love that they have trauma. Okay. Yeah. We love it because then we work through the trauma together. We love it. And you find out like things about him in his past as well and all that fun stuff. And then we get to where her brother comes, he's saying all this stuff, and then they're like, you need to leave to Aurora and you need to go to this wherever it is. I can't remember.
I remember like her and her brother leaving, but I can't remember where.
But there was a point of them going, obviously. It was Blake, wasn't it? Who was put in he was put in prison or something, right?
Yeah.
And Colin was like, you need to leave. Like, you need to get out of here. You need to go and go to this thing. And Blake's like, I will find you wherever you go. And they were like, you need to outrun him, outrun them, like the bond or whatever. Like, once you're a far enough distance, he won't be able to find you. But then he finds her. Do you remember this? Because that's when they get to the thing and at the end of the Night Prince.
Yeah, I just remember the dream. I think it's the dream where we find out that he's actually working for the main bad guy, like the god or whoever imprisoned their goddess, or I don't know the terms, but you know.
Yes. Yep.
Like that's why he's called the Night Prince.
Because he's working with
like the most evil being there is.
That was when he was in prison because he couldn't like control it or whatever.
Yeah.
Right? And Aurora was like there with him and saw him talking to the god or whatever of death or whatever it is.
Yeah.
Yes. I remember all this now.
I was like, oh my God, like this is going to ruin them. But then
it makes it so much better.
Yeah. And then I was like, wait, they're actually like, they're kind of like enemies to like friends to like enemies again to lovers. It's gonna be. And they're mates. So I can't wait till we see them work through their issues. Him
Yeah,
working with the villain and her.
this next book's got to be thick.
Yeah, but I'm very excited for it.
She's the moon goddess, like the moon goddess's heart or whatever.
Yes.
That heart that they kept talking about. She's that.
Yes.
So she is the thing that will save him.
Mm-hmm.
As in Blake. Him as in Blake.
Mm-hmm.
I'm pretty sure the end was them trying to find, or her trying to find a way for her to like be the heart still or something or other. And in that process is when she found out about Blake being the Night Prince. And she was like, we'll find a way, whatever, to save you or something stupid like that. Like it ends with her, like her or him talking to the god of like death or whatever it is. Isn't that how it ends?
I think that's like Blake talking to him.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that probably is how it ends.
Because I remember I can still envision it, remembering reading it, but I can't like put any words to it, but I can envision him like over her, like you can't die, and he's holding her, and because she was like dying, she was dying. Yes, she was dying, and she was going through like the like 7 minutes of like life flashes before your eyes before you're dying, and she was talking to somebody, some god or something, and she was like, you need to keep living, like you're gonna keep living. Blake was trying to save her, and when she wakes up, Blake is there. Let's talk about theories for what we think is going to happen in book 3.
I definitely think there's going to be some turmoil between Blake and Aurora, since she now knows that he's like actually the bad guy, or he's working for the bad guy. And it's not just something people are saying, but she's kind of tied to him because they're mates and because their lives are tied together. So I feel like there's going to be a lot of banter, a lot of hopefully, fingers crossed, fighting with knives, like hopefully he pins her down some more. I don't know.
I mean, seriously, that's all we ask for. Seriously, that's all I ask for.
Yeah, we've waited so long.
We really have. Even though it is being spun that Blake and whoever this god that I can't remember is the bad guy, I have a feeling that is incorrect, and that the Wolf King actually is the problem.
I could definitely see that. Also, they talk about like the goddess, I'm just gonna say the goddess, who was like imprisoned by the evil god, and that's why they can only change during when it's a full moon, right? Do you think that goddess is Aurora's mom?
No.
Oh, okay.
Well, no, because didn't we find out that she is related to this god somehow? Like, I was thinking it was like a long, like, relative of like years ago.
Oh, it could be.
Like, I don't think it would be her mom, but I think it could definitely be like a great grandma or something dumb like that.
Yeah.
Or like her ancestor from a long time ago.
Yeah. But it was confirmed that Aurora is a wolf, right?
Yes. Yeah, because she was going through the changes and stuff.
Yeah. So we're definitely going to see more about her family line.
What I need, the scene that we need is that because Aurora's a wolf and Blake is a wolf something.
Yeah,
he's something.
Yeah.
What we really need is the night that they turn, right? Where the emotions and everything are heightened and all that, and they're just angry at each other, and they're just enemies. The banter is bantering. They just like both get really heightened senses and all this crap. They just get into it because they're angry at each other or something, or he chases her down again or something.
Yeah.
And then from there, things just progress.
Yeah, I definitely need more scenes where they're like yelling at each other and fighting.
Other theories. If Blake is truly the villain, this will be the first book that we have read that the MMC is truly the villain. Truly the villain.
Yeah. It has been for a while. Not like turning villain, not like watching the villain arc.
Correct. I feel like this last book is going to be really thick, and there's going to be a lot of developments when it comes to who the wolves are, the Wolf King, all this stuff, along with how Aurora plays into that and how Blake plays into that. Because I feel like they're like on opposite ends of the spectrum. Like I feel like they're the balance. And that's scary.
When we were talking about how we knew like Colum wasn't the MMC, we're like, something sus about him, right? But then when they turn into the wolf forms and Blake, it has black fur and Colum doesn't, it's like, okay, well, clearly that's your sign.
I feel this is the only book that I've been super like it could go either way, but like it really couldn't, but like it really feels like it could. Like there have been other books that we've read and it's like, okay, clearly that first person was not it. But like with this one, I'm a little scared because we know nothing about this author either. She could do whatever the heck she wants.
Yeah.
And that scares me. I'm not excited, but I'm excited. I just don't want to read it anytime. This is terrible. Anytime that her and Callum were doing like anything, I got the immediate ick. I was like, get this over as fast as we can. But the like scenes with her and Blake that were even like this tiniest little interaction, I was like, I'm eating this up. So that proves to you where we stand.
When it comes to books or like in general, but specifically for books, and even in this series too, when someone's like evil or like they do something questionable, I stop and think, like, how did they get here? Like, what happened in their life to make them like act this way? How were they raised? I'm like, I want the full-on backstory. I want to understand this character.
And then there's me that I'm like, you've done me wrong. You deserve that. Callum doesn't deserve to be happy.
I think he can be happy, just not with Aurora.
This is where you and I disagree. If you're the enemy, and you deserve to die.
No.
Yes.
There's so many more layers. Like, there has to be layers, and you have to accept that, and you have to acknowledge that, and you can still hate them.
The difference is, which is hilarious, and we've said this before, you are very forgiving when it comes to the book world. I am not. In real life, I am very forgiving. You are not.
You know the saying that's like, you forgive, but you don't forget, or something like that?
Yeah.
I don't forgive, but I forget because I have a bad memory, but I'm like, I know I'm mad at this person. I know I hate them, so no forgiveness, but I can't remember exactly what happened.
I don't forget. I don't forget anything. I can forgive you enough, but I still don't trust you.
I don't forgive easily at all.
I'm
Actually, if someone does me dirty, I'm like, you're done. Bye.
You're done. Okie dokie. We need to be done. Would you rather?
Would you rather wear Blake's collar or have him protect you by laying on you? Like that whole thing.
I'm gonna go with C. I want the scene where they're in his room and get caught. Just kidding. I'll actually answer the question. I don't know if I could ever do the collar thing. That's weird.
That is weird. I can barely wear turtlenecks because I'm like, it's like
gross thing. I can't have a necklace too high. It stresses me out.
No, literally. And sometimes I try to wear turtlenecks. So I'm like, it'll be cute, but it's just like I'm like stressed the whole time.
Yes. Agreed. Okay, so we just both agreed. But I actually went with C, a different answer.
Yes. But like the concept of wearing his collar, I'm like, great, right? But like I couldn't actually do it. Like, can you make it a bracelet?
Can you make it a bracelet? No, I don't think you can. What I was gonna say is, you could just bite me. That's fine. We can do that. Yeah. I'm fine with that. I'm chill with that.
I'm fine with that.
I'm fine with that. Or make it a bracelet. That was hilarious. Okay. Oh, anyways, thank you so much for listening. This was Reading Between the Lines. Obviously, once the third book of The Wolf King comes out, you'll be hearing from us, and we'll be talking about it, I'm sure, because apparently we have a lot to talk about just in these two books. So, there's that.
I feel like that was just the blind leading the blind, and then we somehow got here.
Listen, I remember a lot. It would have been different if it would have been just when I had just read it. Because I remember things, but I don't remember details of how we got to said thing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I remember the plot and everything, but I don't remember how we got to each thing. I don't care. I'm sure it was a very entertaining episode. We have a few authors coming on the next couple episodes, so that'll be coming out. We are talking about Play Along. We're going to be talking about Bridgerton season 4 once Alexis watches it. Thank you so much for listening to our tangents. We'll be back.